Many people new to SharePoint 2010 are not quite sure what it is or what it can do for them. Well, SharePoint is a platform for sharing information. It's a collection of tools that share in different ways. Just like Microsoft Office has many different components, so does SharePoint. This is a quick overview I've done of the pieces of SharePoint and what they can do for you. One underlying point to make is, unlike Office, which usually runs on your local PC or laptop, SharePoint runs on a server and is accessed from your PC or laptop through the browser. Sometimes you access it as well through Office. You can also access SharePoint from mobile devices. But the point is, SharePoint is running up there centrally on a server. According to Microsoft, there are 6 main areas of SharePoint. The first is sites. SharePoint is a collection of websites. It will automatically create a website for you with no programming. Sometimes you create these sites. Sometimes other people create these sites. Most people that use SharePoint don't create sites, but they contribute to sites, and they use the information that's in those sites. These sites can include things like a team site here for sharing data and information between team members. Here we have a personal website for sharing information about you with your colleagues. It might be a departmental website. Here's one for the marketing department. Or it might be a central portal that everyone can go to get information on the company. Sometimes it can even be an external website available to the whole world. Here we have a couple examples of some websites that are built using SharePoint technology. So SharePoint is a collection of websites, a big collection of websites, but that's what it is, all running up there on a server. The second area of SharePoint is communities. This is working with other people. The 75-cent term is collaboration. This collaboration may be a project team sharing some documents, as you see here in a document library. It could be a team calendar where people are working together to keep track of different events in the life of their team. Maybe it's a product wiki that is written to talk about developing new products that's shared with hundreds of people. Or a task list among teammates to keep track of who's doing what and what sort of progress they're making. Or it could be something as simple as 3 people working together on a Word document all at the same time. SharePoint can do all of this and more. It can let you know when something has been added or changed to a site. And this communities or collaboration part of SharePoint is where most people start with SharePoint and spend much of their time. The third area of SharePoint is content. This is all the information, all the files that you work with in your organization. Documents, spreadsheets, PowerPoints, they can all be uploaded to SharePoint. This includes, of course, the documents listed here in a document library, and many Office documents can be previewed just by clicking on them. You can open them up and take a look at them right here in the browser. Other content could include picture files. Here we have some beautiful pictures in a picture library. Content can also be media clips. Here we have a video clip. It could also be a sound file, an MP3 file. Much of the data in SharePoint is in a list. Here we have an inventory list. This could be just in SharePoint, or it could be connected up through a live data connection to another system that automatically updates my inventory in SharePoint. Some people are saving all of their files up to SharePoint instead of on their local system. It's centrally located, it's more secure, it's safer because it's backed up more often, and you have more control on who has access to that information. It's very easy to save those files up there. Most of the programs in Office allow you to save directly into SharePoint. Here I have an Excel worksheet, and I can say File, Save and Send, and Save to SharePoint, and I have a list of SharePoint sites listed over there on the right. Likewise, if I was in Access and I wanted to take this data table and create a list up in SharePoint, I come up to Export and I say Export that SharePoint list, and in a few clicks I've now uploaded that into SharePoint. So Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, picture files, all of this makes up content that you can save to SharePoint. And once you upload that content, then you have access to it anywhere that you can get on your network. You can get to a browser, you can go out and you can look at that. But sometimes we're not on the network. So they make a way to take that information and download it into a program called SharePoint Workspace, which gives you offline, disconnected access to the data that you normally look at in SharePoint. I can work with the files here, and then when I connect back up to the network, it will automatically synchronize all of the changes back and forth. I don't have to worry about it. SharePoint does it all. You can even edit Office documents in SharePoint in the browser. Here we have a PowerPoint presentation. I can preview it right here, but there's also a button that lets me edit it in the browser. So now I have a simple ribbon interface across the top. I could choose to add a new slide. We'll put in a title and content slide, and I can put in some smart art. I can choose my shapes. I can choose my color. I have a lot of flexibility in how I can work with this, all from the browser, all from within SharePoint. So I think you can see SharePoint would be nothing without content, and there are multitudes of ways to get that content there and work with it. The next area of SharePoint is search. With all this content uploaded on the servers, it is important to be able to find what you want. Here in this simple but powerful search screen, we do a search for airlines, and we get back the results. Not only results, but visual results with little thumbnails of those documents. It's also a very smart search in that it will only show you information that you have permission or access to see. I can refine my search as I go. Over here on the left-hand side, I have different refiners where I could narrow it down by the type of result, the type of document, or maybe even the author. Narrow it down to that author right there. It'll search for content, and it will also search for people. We have some people guesses over here on the right. If I click on the people button at the top, I can see more results and more details about the people that it has found. And I like that you can see a thumbnail of the results, and you can also do a preview in many cases. Here we can preview slide by slide in this deck of this PowerPoint that I've found. So I think you can see that search is fast and smart and also key to being able to find the information you're looking for in all the content on SharePoint. The fifth area of SharePoint is insights. One of the powerful things about SharePoint is it can take all of this information and give you different views and combinations of data that help you to make better decisions. You may get insights from this roll-up of data displayed here in Visio that gives us a world view, a site view, or an individual rack view of our network status. Insights involve bringing together large amounts of data and funneling them down into reports, such as this dashboard we have of key performance indicators. Sometimes these are called scorecards. Or you might have a whole gallery of different reports. You can page through them here in a very visual fashion and choose the one that you want and do further analysis. These insights can also give you new ways to drill down on information. I could take a look at the United States. I could drill down on Texas. I could go to Houston specifically and see the statistics over here. Or maybe I want to drill down further and break this down by product category and look at home appliances and look at refrigerators and get right down to the detail, brand by brand, of what we sold in Houston, Texas. It's a great way to get the big picture and drill down and get the details that you need. And many decision makers are very excited about all the insights that SharePoint delivers. The last area is Composites. This is where you can customize SharePoint to give you exactly the view of the information that you need. This could include using tools like SharePoint Designer to extend the capabilities of SharePoint, or something like Visio, where here I'm plotting a workflow in SharePoint of information. You can do a lot of customizing without being a programmer, and if you are a programmer, you can do even more with Composites. So there's an overview on SharePoint. As I said at the beginning, SharePoint is a platform for sharing information. If you ask 10 people exactly how they use it, you might get 10 different answers. It's kind of like Office in that some use it for formulas, others use it for footnotes, others just do presentations with it. And also like Office, it has many wonderful capabilities. And while SharePoint is vast, it is used by individuals. And the vast number of those individuals start with team sites and sharing files in a document library. Many of these clips will focus on the sharing of files and data in team sites in SharePoint. Take a look, and I think you'll see the possibilities and the power of SharePoint 2010.